Kentucky State Auditor Allison Ball is calling on people to look past politics and focus on children. Her office investigated the state foster care system and found dozens of at-risk children, some under the age of 6, who had been housed in office buildings in places like state parks. Those stays could last from days to weeks. Wave News reporter David Mattingly spoke with Ball about the findings and the political pushback.
Brian, the document produced by Ball's investigation is 129 pages long, and it holds the Bashir administration accountable for what it calls serious issues. It is a scathing report that documents how in just under 2 years, 304 Kentucky children placed in foster care had to be housed in office buildings, state parks, and other unlicensed settings. And it describes a continuing substantial Cabinet for Health and Family Services failure.
My takeaway going through it is it is a deep and at this point systemic problem. It impacts children of all ages and in all kinds of situations that are coming into foster care.
The report finds CHFS has no policies for handling kids that can't be placed in traditional housing. It finds tracking those kids is inconsistent and unreliable, and that the failures create direct safety risks for the children.
And I think what's most important here, the absolute thing that is most important, is that we take this seriously and we address the needs of these kids.
Ball issued a call to action, placing blame on CHFS and by extension Governor Andy Bashir. A governor's spokesman issued a brief statement accusing Ball of prioritizing political games, saying the report is likely to include significant errors. The report, however, does confirm the 2023 findings of a Wave News troubleshooter investigation that exposed children sleeping in state offices and the state's inability to find a solution. Ball's report contains recommendations, a 30-point list of possible remedies. Kentucky Youth Advocates Executive Director Terry Brooks suggests the governor call a special session.
But if we really want to tackle this in a big way, what I'm calling a big swing at a big problem, then we need a big solution.
I asked the governor's office about the possibility of a special session, but we didn't get an answer. Ball says many of her recommendations can be implemented without the legislature getting involved. David Mattingly, Wave News.